Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you for watching, for liking and sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. Now, what do I have next to me? This is the 2025 Lexus NX 350 with the F-Sport package, handling package, excuse me. Now, I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the tech, the luxury features and technology, and then go for my quick final drive. And before I continue, I wanna give a big thank you to Lexus for allowing me to have this vehicle in my home test area for me to test and review for you guys. Stay tuned, that is coming up next. Okay, let's start the review at front. As you guys can see, this being the F-Sport version of the NX 350, the aggressive front end is, is very aggressive. So you got this very big and bold grille, 360 front-facing camera here because this vehicle does have a 360 camera. The radar sensor lives behind the Lexus emblem. It does have parking sensors in the front. My tester is finished in copper crest, which is a new color for the NX, which was debuted on the RX 350, and it carried over. I gotta say, people have been giving me thumbs up. This car gets a lot of looks. Very unique, very striking. At first, I was a little not warmed up about it, but I kind of came around it. It's actually unique and different compared to, you know, traditional white, black, gray, you know, colors. This is a very unique color, and you would definitely not lose it in a parking lot when you're looking for your car. My tester has the optional triple beam LEDs, headlights, as you guys can see, turn signals LED. You got the Lexus L right here, daytime running light, which is always on. It does have LED fog lights, and it does also have LED turn lights, which are here. Really, I can't see it on camera, and it comes out and it shines the side of the road when you're turning. Integrated headlight washers right here. Very bold front end. You got a nice little lip spoiler. All right, let's take a look at the engine bay, the power plant. We're gonna continue walking around the outside, the cargo, and then we go for inside and look at the tech of this 2025 Lexus NX 350 F-Sport with the handling package. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. Okay, let's talk about the powertrain of this 2025 Lexus NX 350 F-Sport. Underneath this beautiful hood lives a 2.4 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 275 horsepower and 317 pounds-feet of torque. Made it to an 8-speed automatic. Power is being sent to all 4 wheels because this is the all-wheel drive version. And I gotta say, on paper, Lexus says it does 0 to 60 in 6.6. It feels a lot faster to me. I didn't officially test it, but it does get up and go very quickly, especially when you have it in Sport Plus mode. That's the most aggressive and sport version of the transmission and the drivetrain, and it does get up and go easy. This is a typical Lexus power plant. This engine is you can find this also in its sibling, the RX 350, the RAV4 as well, in the non-turbo. The Lexus TX. I mean, this is pretty much in a lot of different different vehicles in the Lexus lineup. Tried and true power plant, of course, reliable because it's a Lexus. Very easy to get to everything. You got all your fluids here. You got your engine filter right here, fuse boxes, everything. Very simple, straightforward. All right, let's continue the walk around of the Lexus NX 350. Then we go to the cargo, interior, and our final drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's continue the exterior walk around of the 2025 Lexus NX 350. There's a better look, a very bolder look of the front end. And it is bold indeed. There is that front-facing camera right there. Underneath the radar, the Lexus radar emblem. And these are the lights that I was talking about earlier. These guys right here, this is the turning light, which activates when you turn the turn signals left and right, which is unique. Full LED fog lights, LED everything. There's a little closer look of the triple beam LEDs. And again, this color really does pop. And this tester is sitting on 20-inch wheels wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza tires. Two 35, 50, 20-inch wheels. These are blacked out because it is the S-Sport model indeed. You got your S-Sport badges right here. Blacked out mirror caps, which is very, very nice. The black bits and everything, it does pop very nicely. And the NX for this generation, which debuted in 2022, Lexus did a great job with this. It looks great. The design. This was the first implementation of the Lexus emblem. I mean, Lexus spelled out in the back instead of the emblem. And you got, of course, nice wiper there. My Tesla does have the panoramic sunroof, which we'll go over in a second. But let's take a look. And this is for those who don't know what the key looks like. This is pretty much every key in every Lexus for now. Very simple, straightforward. You have lock, unlock, trunk release, panic, and that's it. So let's go into the trunk. Let's take a look at the cargo area of the 2025 Lexus NX. This one is finished in black interior, and I would insert the cargo capacity in the video so you guys can see. It's a decent size. It is a compact SUV after all. You do have little grocery. You got power outlet right here, grocery holder, bag holder right here, where you can kind of hide them away, which is nice little touch. And there's more of that grocery holder right there as well. Very unique. These seats do fold down, so you can just, of course, push it like so, and they fold down completely. I have my daughter's booster seat there, so that's why I can't fold that one. It does have underfloor storage, and that is the cargo cover right there. Nice little deep well right here. You could put extra items right here. I don't know if this car has spare tire. For the life of me, I can't remove that cover. Don't know if it does. If it does, I will insert a text in here, yes or no, after I post this video. One neat feature that this car has as well is you could lock the tailgate, or you can just press this and walk away, and it will not only will it close the hatch, it will also lock the car, and you see the mirrors fold in, letting you know that the vehicle is locked. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the technology of this 2025 Lexus NX 350 F Sport. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the 2025 Lexus NX 350. Getting in is a very simple affair. You just put your hand over the door handles, the mirrors unlock, and you push a button. There's actually a button there. Can't even speak, sorry, to unlock it. And stepping inside here, this is a very nice place to be. This one is, being the F Sport, does have the aggressive seats, which we'll go over in a second. My tester has the 1800 watt Mark Levinson sound system, which is excellent. For copyright reasons, unfortunately, I can't demonstrate how that sounds, but it does sound very, very well. I like this stitching material here, the stitching. It is soft padded. You do have memory for three drivers, which will remember the mirrors, the steering wheel, and the seat. Electronic door releases, so you press to get out, and then you pull twice to open the manual release in case of power failure. Automatic up and down all four windows. Power folding mirrors, which is nice. You got F Sport door sill right there. Very nice. And let's talk about the seats. Very heavily bolstered seats, as you guys can see. Very aggressive. It does keep you, the bolsters do keep you in place. Power, of course, seats, two-way lumbar support. You have the F Sport badging on both of the headrests, which is very nice. And let's step inside. Stepping height is not too bad. And you have in front of you two screens. Let's just get in and show you guys what that looks like. You got your bongs. It does have a head-up display as well. And there you have a full LCD cluster. And you have this 14-inch display, which is it's basically every single modern Lexus has this infotainment system. Down here you do have static climate control, which they don't go anywhere, they're always visible. This vehicle does have heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, excuse me, and of course you could do something called auto mode. So if you press this on auto, it will either put the heat on or the cooling seats depending on the temperature that you set the car to, which is a very nice feature to have. It does it for both driver and passenger. Nice, very nice little, but if you do want to expand the climate control, you do that, and that's the concierge thing that I was talking about, which turns on airflow, which is cool. This is actually an interesting feature where it only directs airflow where it detects where whoever's sitting. So for me, I'm only the one driving here. It will only show flow air to where I'm sitting. You do have more controls here. Lane departure warning. You could turn on the air conditioner, the head-up display. You could do full mode for the HUD, which, let me see if I can zoom in. Yep, and you guys can see it. There it is, the head-up display, which will show. Let me try to focus the camera. It will show turn-by-turn navigation, compass, everything, which is very, very unique and very helpful. Moving back to the center screen, this is a connected system, and you do get connected services when you buy the vehicle, which means it does have internet connectivity. You can do over-the-air updates. This is kind of Google Maps, so to speak, which is nice and very responsive. You have all the media controls, phone. You got vehicle information here, the driving assist features, trip information. What the all-wheel drive system is doing, tire pressure monitoring, so it tells you all about the tire, the vehicle alert, anything, messages, settings, display. You can control a lot of items here, what the camera does, the ambient lighting, adjusting for the sound of course levels here, which is good. Right now is off because I got the radio off, but this will automatically adjust the volume based on how fast you're going. Very straightforward, nothing too complex to do. And if we keep moving down, here you have the Lexus Park Assist feature, which will automatically assist you in parking. Right now it's complaining that I don't have the seatbelt on, so it's not going to do anything. And right below it, you have the 360 camera, which when you're not moving, it does this little spinning thing, which is interesting. But if you put the car in reverse, then it shows you pretty much what's going on around the car. And it's yelling at me because it's detecting my tripod. And if you put it forward, you can of course change it. Very, very good resolution on the camera, nothing too bad. Moving on down to the center console, this is your drive mode selector. So if you go left is Eco, you have Sport and Sport Plus, and as you can see, the gauges change to, here this is the sportier driving with the RPM on top and the speedometer in the middle, which is kind of cool. Let me just zoom in there so you guys can see that a little better, which is very, very cool. So if you rev the engine, you see the RPM on top, and then you push the button here again to go back to normal mode. And you can, of course, customize the way the needles look and everything. This vehicle does have fully automatic headlights, automatic wipers, and the steering wheel is very, very nice, very sporty. Let me zoom back out here. On the left, you have controls for the media. On the right, you have control for the automated cruise control. And something interesting in some Lexuses, not all of them, this one, for example, as you guys can see, the buttons are not labeled. Those arrows are not labeled, besides the obvious, the volume up and down and here. But to see what does what, you have to kind of hover, and let me zoom back in. You have to hover your finger over the controls. You guys can see skip forward, backwards, voice command, and then you press this button here, and then that also changes to more controls over there. So it's very interesting, and I wish they would just put labels on them instead of, you know, kind of guessing what's what. And the same thing goes for the cruise control area. Moving on to the center console, this is a wireless charging pad. You can put your phones here. You do have USB-C and USB-A, and then this also has an under cubby that you guys can see. Let me turn the light on so you guys can see a little better. You have 2 more USB-Cs right there, and a traditional power port right there, which is nice. Center console, you got nice decent sized cup holders right there. You do have electronic auto brake hold, engine start stop on and off button, downhill assist, electronic parking brake, traction control on and off. This looks like off-road mode for some reason, and then this is electronic parking brake, no big deal there. And then the center console has a little trick the way it opens. You can open it like so. I have some napkins there. It does have lights in here, no USB ports in there at all, and the passenger can open it that way, which is a little trippy and kind of cool. Very, very nice materials. The mirror is, let me turn that light back off. It is, of course, 8 auto dimming mirror. Hello. And you can, it also has this optional camera, so which is excellent, because you could have the car full of people and nobody will block your view at all, because it's a camera mounted inside the car, which is nice. And this vehicle does have a very large panoramic sunroof with a power shade, as you guys can see. Very, very nice, and it gets very dark. Very dark when you have it closed, but it opens a decent size. You know, it could have opened a little. It could have opened like right here maybe, but for some reason it doesn't. It just stops right there. But overall, at least you get something. You get something. An opening glass roof, which is cool. And that's pretty much it up front. The seats are comfortable, like I said. They're both heated and cooled. And that's pretty much it up front. Oh, and the vehicle does, of course, have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. The price for my tester is about $58,000, because it is the top trim, fully loaded version of the NX. So there's pretty much every possible option you can have, with the exception of a power reclining second row seat. All right, let's take a look at the back seat of the NX, the cargo, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the back of the NX 350. And just because you're in the back, Lexus did not skimp. The materials continue back here. Nice, very speaker grille for the Mark Levinson sound system. Same little design here, not wood, but it's very nice design here, just like in the front. Very similar material. The stitching is the same, very soft padded. More of that electronic button to get out in and out of the car. And let's step inside. I'm about 5'8", and the seat is adjusted to how I drive. Not the biggest place in the world, but also not too tiny. I feel comfortable back here, no problem. There's a look at how the cluster looks, which is very nice. And of course, the panoramic sunroof. And this vehicle does have center vents right here. Nice air center vents. You do have more power outlets back here. You have the cigarette lighter there. You do have more USB-Cs, which is nice. You have deep pockets right here behind each seat, and you guys can see from back here how heavily bolstered those two seats are, which is very nice. I have my kiddo's car seat, booster seat, which also works very well. It does have LED lighting throughout the cabin, and you have cup holders right here in the center console, and you do have also cup holders on each of the door pocket. These seats are reclinable, a little bit reclined. Let me turn the camera around, and it's not too bad. I can survive here, not too bad for a nice little trip. You fold the center console down and you can sit here comfortable on a nice little journey. All right, let's take a look at the car. Let's take this Lexus NX 350 F Sport for a quick drive and my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2025 Lexus NX 350 F Sport with the handling package. And I gotta say, yes, nobody's buying an SUV for flat out performance or anything like that. But this actually does do a very good job of being a little bit of a performance SUV for the money. Even though it has sitting on 20-inch wheels. Oh, sorry about that. That's my filming equipment back there in the trunk. It does a good job of mitigating the bumps on my not so perfect New York roads where I live here. They're not great, but it does a good job of mitigating imperfections. And obviously I'm sure the luxury version will drive a little smoother than this one. I haven't driven it yet, but I will do my normal loop here, and I have it in normal mode now. And if you switch it over to Sport and Sport Plus, that's when it really gets aggressive. The steering wheel does get a little firmer when you do it in when you put it in Sport Plus mode. I already feel it getting firmer. The suspension, of course, it does have adaptive suspension, so it will adapt itself depending on the driving mode that we're in here. And let me try to get into my normal loop here. On paper, Lexus says this does about 24 miles per gallon combined. Because I have a lead foot, I'm sure I'm not getting that. I'm getting probably less than that. But if you drive this in a conservative manner, you will get good gas mileage. And let's step in here and go into the highway. I do hear a little bit of piped in fake noise, which is not a bad thing, because it does sound pretty good, the engine. Turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This engine surprised me. And in this right here in F Sport mode, you can definitely put the hammer down and definitely have some fun. The paddle shifters, if you go into manual mode, you can of course then go and use these paddle shifters, even though they're plastic, but they do feel very nice in the hand. So of course you can start downshifting, and it does have rev matching. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I hear the noise being piped in a little bit, not to an offensive degree, which is refreshing. It's refreshing to have that, which is very nice, and it impressed me. I would, because I'm a gearhead, yes, the hybrid one is the one to get if you want the best fuel economy over the non-hybrid one like this one, which again I will leave the link in the video somewhere. For the hybrid, I did the 350h version of this back in 2023, and it's like being reunited with an old friend, because I've gotten very familiar with the Lexus, the modern day Lexuses. I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but you can set the cameras to completely activate once you come to a full little stop, and it will show you your surroundings, which is very useful, especially coming in and out of a driveway, of a garage, of anything of that nature, which is very, very cool, and useful, very useful technology. It's not just there just because. So, but I have been very impressed with this in my week of testing. This is a very, very well built vehicle. I wouldn't expect anything less, being a Lexus. This is not the volume seller for them. That would be the RX, but I'm pretty sure this is getting very close in terms of beating its own corporate sibling, the RX. And another example, see, when you come into a stop, the camera activates and it helps you, and it does have this like transparent vehicle mode here, which is very cool. All right, and this is my conclusion of my review of the 2025 Lexus NX 350 F Sport with the handling package and all-wheel drive. As tested, again, it's for $58,000. It does start, pricing starts about $49,000 without options and stuff like that. And before I go, because I'm not running Android Auto or CarPlay, this is the native map. You can actually do this, and you can actually expand it and get rid of the climate control buttons a little bit on the screen. All right, thank you all for watching, for liking and sharing my videos, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.